Yo, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a brand new sit down video. We are going to be talking about a mindset shift that I think that I had to make in order to quit my job and become a business owner full time. Now, my life has changed a lot in the last few months and things have started to move really fast, and I consider myself a tad bit lucky about how things have worked out, but I do believe that a lot of that luck has stemmed from certain things that I did specifically. I think that I applied myself in such a way where I was able to have these opportunities and be lucky, but I'd say there's a big three things that kind of changed in my brain chemistry. On one side of the spectrum, before kind of taking on this lifestyle, I was thinking this way. Moving forward afterwards, I now think this way. Now, the first thing is understanding that when you start any kind of business or you just take any kind of risk, really, no matter what you do, you're going to be taking a risk. That's one thing. Understand that the biggest risk is not taking any at all. What you're doing is risky, but putting yourself in a position where you need to succeed, putting yourself where your back is against the wall, is going to do you so much good. But one thing you have to realize is that when you take this risk, you're gonna be winging it for a while. I don't know if this is good to say on camera, but I don't really know exactly what I'm doing. But I understand that I learn the most, grow the most as a person, as a business owner, whatever you want to call it, from messing up and from experience and from not knowing what I'm doing. Even when I fire up this camera to make a YouTube video, I kind of just yap and I put it together and I just post it. I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care if it doesn't get a lot of views, because at the end of the day, I'm doing it and I'm winging it. And I know that if I stay consistent, just winging it, just doing the thing, showing up every day, that I'm going to see results. It's happened to me time and time again. Something I've come to realize that made me start to think outside the box, kind of go against the norm, if you will. I saw a video on TikTok, a video of Steve Jobs, like an interview of Steve Jobs from like years and years ago, kind of, early on into Apple's lifespan. He basically said, you have to think about life and just everything, this world, in a sense that everything that we use or have, the internet, your phone, this camera that I'm recording on, my computer, these lights, this TV, every single thing that you use in your day-to-day life was made by humans, was made by people. It was made by someone. The iPhone Apple was just created by someone who just started doing the thing. Every single thing that we use was created by someone once that was no better than you or me. It was no different than you or me. You have to think about it like, what is stopping you from being the creator of the next big thing? What is stopping you from creating something that people can use? What is stopping you from creating something innovative that possibly could change the trajectory of the human race? Because if you think about it, honestly, Steve Jobs, I think, single-handedly changed the trajectory of the human race by creating Apple, because this thing right here legitimately changed the world. And you have to think about it in a sense that one day this guy was just some dude who was in his garage and came up with this idea. A crazy idea. And when he told people that idea, they probably thought he was speaking a different language. They had no idea that nobody was on the same length as him in any way, shape, or form. But now look at what it has become. Because I can guarantee you another thing is that when Steve Jobs created Apple, he had no idea what he was doing, and he never would have thought that it would have turned into the thing that it is today. Now, this second thing that kind of changed in my mind is honestly one of the hardest things, and I still struggle with it every single day, and that is caring how other people view me, caring how the people that I live with, my roommates, view me, my parents view me, just caring about what people think. This is extremely a difficult thing, especially for me, just because I've always kind of done things that aren't really the norm throughout my whole life. Always been into making videos like this. I've always been into kind of not wanting to work a job and wanting to start my own business. Now, I don't really have any specific tips on how to get over this, because like I said, I still kind of struggle with it myself. I really don't like when people watch me make videos, especially people from my hometown. I don't like when they see what I'm up to. I don't really like to tell people what I do or what I'm into. I didn't even tell anyone that I quit my job for a pretty good amount of time. I'm very passionate about all of this stuff, making videos, owning my business, working, and kind of just hopefully being an inspiration to you guys. I don't have the biggest following on here. I don't make $1 million a month or anything like a lot of these other kids online. What I do feel like I am is authentic and genuine, and that is truly what I want to be, but I don't like being judged by other people, and it just happens, man. It's just one of those things that you kind of just got to accept and just take take the L on. It's just rough. You know, the worst part about it is that everything you do will always be cringy. People are always going to question it. Tell anybody about things you're doing, 90% of the time, it's going to be negative feedback. Things that I've learned, it is never going to be negative feedback from people that are above you. The people that are above you are always going to praise you for taking the road less traveled or stepping outside of your comfort zone or doing these certain things because they have been in your position. But the truth is that the majority of people have not had that experience being able to relate to them on that level and have these kinds of conversations where it's like, oh, you know, especially at my age, everyone's kind of in college. So when people ask what I'm up to, I almost feel like I have to lie because I don't like to say, oh, I have this business or I like to make videos and all this stuff, because most of the time people just think it's weird. They just don't really get it. It's always going to be cringy and people are going to look at you weird until it works, and then they ask you how you did it. One thing that I really can relate to in this way is when I first started working out. When I first started working out, I was extremely skinny. I'm 6 feet tall. I started working out just over 2 years ago. I was 6 feet tall and about 125 pounds. So you can imagine what I looked like. I started working out very consistently, and when I started, people thought it was just weird. People think it's cringe, and I don't know when it became the MO that trying is cringe or stupid, but it just is. Especially within young people, there's just such this stigma that just trying is weird, and I don't understand why, but it just is. When I started to put on weight, when I started to get stronger, when people started to see me, you know, really starting to get bigger, those same people who in the beginning clowned on me came back to me and said, how did I do it? So it's very ironic, and it pretty much applies to anything, whether it be the gym, which I've personally experienced, whether it be trading, whether it be YouTube, whether it be all of this stuff, whether it be TikTok. I'm really hoping that all of this works out for me, my business, my YouTube channel, my TikTok, just everything that I'm doing. I hope it all works out, and I honestly am very confident in the fact that when it does all work out for me, the same people who are shitting on me now for all of this are going to come back and ask me how I did it, or ask for advice, or ask how they can do the same thing. If there is anything that you are going to take away from this video that I genuinely think I am qualified to speak on, it is this, and that is surround yourself with winners. Become friends and make connections. You guys have 100% heard the term that you are the sum of the people that you hang out with, and it is absolutely 110% the most true thing that I have ever experienced firsthand within my entire life. Now, it sucks because while you're going throughout this journey, you know, I don't like to say while you're going throughout this journey because I still think I'm very early on in my journey, right? I've only been at this for a couple of months. I've only really dedicated myself to this lifestyle for the last couple of months. However, over the course of the last year, my life has changed so much from meeting two specific people. And those two specific people are Steph and Habibi. And if you guys are watching my channel, chances are you probably either know me from Steph's server or like some way through him, or, you know, maybe you have found me organically, which is what I hope for. Changed my life simply by becoming good friends with them. They help me so much because they are so far above me. If I'm working on anything, I know that there are two people in this world that I can call right now and I can tell them exactly what I'm struggling with, and they will tell me exactly what I need to know and exactly a solution for it. So one, having those kinds of connections, having those kinds of friends are good in that sense because, you know, they're able to help you get out of a stuck zone. If you're feeling like you're at a roadblock, they will know what to do because there's people aren't above you. They are further along in their journey. They've been in my position before, so they know what to do. And because they know that back then when they were in my position, what they did ended up working out for them. So they'll know exactly what to tell you and how to help you. Secondly is that, you know, kind of goes hand in hand with my last point though, is that if you surround yourself with winners or people that are generally, you know, above you, more successful than you, make more money than you, whatever you want to say, just better than you in general, whenever you start something or do something out of the norm, every time you talk to them about it, they are going to give you that positive feedback. And that positive feedback is what you need, especially for me. You know, negative feedback sucks. I think everyone can agree on that when people hate on you and you get negative feedback, it sucks. Ratio of people who will shit on you to the ratio of people who will uplift you is like 90 to 10 or 9 to 1, I should say. I feel like for every 9 people that hate on me and say that what I'm doing is stupid or make fun of me, there is one person who uplifts me, but that one person that uplifts me outweighs all of the hate. And being able to have that, you know, hearing that kind of reassurance, especially coming from someone who used to be in your position, is extremely reassuring. And I'm telling you guys right now, genuinely, if it wasn't for these two people, Steph and Habibi, I would have given up, bro. I genuinely would have given up. They motivate me so much. You know, you need to have these people in your life who are role models and who you model yourself after, because I've seen them succeed. I've seen them even grow into bigger heights. achievements, and I've seen them reach bigger achievements than I have when I first met them, and it's just absolutely amazing. I feel like I've been able to grow in a certain sense with these people, but just surround yourself with the right people. And it sucks because you might have to make sacrifices to the people that you love. You know, the people that you love, the people that you consider maybe even the closest to you, you sometimes feel like they're bringing you down or they're holding you back, and it sucks because you want them around. And the last thing, man, is just wanting it that bad. Making money is obviously the reason that I do this, and you know, one of my main motivating factors, but it honestly comes down to the fact that for me, it's more than just making money. It's more than just wanting to drive a Lamborghini or wear an expensive watch or eat at nice restaurants. More so of a thing, like I feel so motivated and so driven because I want to prove it to myself. I know deep down that I am destined for greatness. I want to prove it to myself. I try to focus on my service more than the money. I understand that if I provide a good, valuable service, the money will follow, right? I try not to focus on the money. The same thing goes with trading. In trading, I started to find success when I focused on becoming a good trader and taking smart, good A+ setups, not making money. I started to see success in my business when I started focusing on delivering a good product rather than getting paid or making money. So that's my last thing, is focus on yourself. Focus on building your character. Focus on building a good product or a good service, and the money will always follow. And that is the reason that I think starting a business around something you are passionate about is extremely important, because you need to be excited to work. Every day I wake up and I am excited to work on my business. Yes, it is very repetitive. It is an extremely repetitive process. 90% of building a successful business, I believe, is doing the same thing in and out. You know, most of the work every day is honestly exactly the same, except that's the consistency that matters. You can't fail if you never give up at something, but it's extremely easy to give up at something when you're not passionate about it. And that's another reason I just think you should really try to find and pinpoint a skill that you enjoy doing and build your business around that. For me, I love to make videos. I've always loved to make videos ever since I was a kid. Talking to cameras, I've loved making gaming channels, always had a passion for making videos, and I said, how can I turn this into a business? So one, I looked into how to manage paid advertisements on social media, and I also sell myself as a content creator to be the face of certain businesses where I can create content for them or create their advertisements and then also run their paid advertisements. And I kind of was able to form this whole business model around my passion, which is making videos. I think that you have to look into something that you are genuinely going to enjoy, because it's really hard to stick to something that you don't enjoy doing. Feeling really locked in recently. There definitely have been times where I feel like I've hit a roadblock, and hitting a roadblock sucks. When I do, I kind of just like to sit down in front of the camera and speak from the heart, man, and it kind of helps me to get out of a rut and gets my gears in my brain turning again. I thank you guys so much for watching. I know that I'm nobody right now, but one day I will be somebody. That's a promise I've made to myself. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to one day be somebody. And it's like I do all this, and there's no guarantee. So the scary thing is that there's no guarantee when you commit yourself to something like this. When you commit yourself full time to running a business or to being a content creator, it's scary going into that unknown. Kind of like what I was saying in the beginning of the video. You never know quite if things will work out, and it's scary because you wake up every single day and you commit yourself to something and you do the same thing day in and day out in hopes that one day you can look back and say, wow, all of that work paid off. But it's never guaranteed. When that part comes in, you just pray and you just trust God and you just hope that it does. There's nothing else to do except hope. Hope that one day all the work you put in will all pay off, and that God will be kind enough to bless you. Things that you want, things that you deserve, things that you feel like you earned. So I love you guys so much. See you in the next video.